message that this must not ever be tolerated. I am damn angry, bitterly angry, because this is what they call wickedness to the highest order. Nobody could tell me in the right senses that they sat down in a room and pay people to prepare this document for us, to present it to the working class representatives. Listen, when the SRC, Salary Review Commission, review all the money, we doesn't even know when they pay all you. We doesn't even know when they pay all you. We just find out when all the money is in the bank. I say today, President General of Amalgamated Workers Union, just as Ole went and borrowed money, and we, the working class, have to pay back, go and borrow the damn money, and tell the damn workers of this country that say the damn economy, don't come and give me your hard work, and go rush, and tell me how, here's the way we must go. We ain't going there. We ain't accepting it. And the hell was the column. And all the rest of it.
Comrade, you have heard an angry man. Yes. You have heard an angry man. Yes. Something I could have said here. Because never before you would have been so angry. You have never used those type of languages that you heard today. He has always been cooperative and say, comrade, things will improve. But he has seen for himself that there is no improvement, so he said to help with them. That's an angry man. So, while we could clap and we could have and we could smile and we could shout, NATUC has taken the responsibility that we go into Tobago. There are working class workers also in Tobago. I think it's the third occasion that we intend to go there. While the other trade unions are in Faizabad, we want to ensure that we have the word clear now. Because when we go to Faizabad, we don't be stifled. Because it's only one set of people that we heard. So we go in where we'll be heard. And we are organizing our members, and the whole of Tobago is organizing for the 19th of June. But before that, when the leaders meet this afternoon shortly after this conference, we will so decide. Because we know Trinidadians are, you know, after 9 days they will get cold and everything will get cold. But this day they are nothing too cold, we have to keep it going. So we will burn them for the Spain, not literally. What I'm saying, we will come in numbers and we will be there to ensure, to show our dissatisfaction pertaining to what we have seen. Because I heard some of the chambers, you know, the men from the various chambers, they say they're happy with the VAT refund. Billions of dollars is being put aside to pay the businessmen. All the VAT return is being paid. They didn't tell them that the economy low and they will give a percentage. They're giving them all. But when it comes to the working class, they can't find anything. In light of that, comrades, we have our next president here, all the way from South, hence the reason why we were going to this conference at 10. She said, no, I'm an integral part of this organization. I want you to wait for contractors because I'm coming from South. Fire! You know, as our sister Rose will say, I go down for now, stop, down there, when you go down the temple now. Let's put your hands together.
Electricity Corporation. As a responsible trade unionist, I thought it fit to address our members this morning in the Boreal. The workers were angry. They indicated to me that what was presented to us was very provoking, and in fact, they wanted to drop tools from this morning. But I told them that we belong to an organization, and things are not done like that. We must organize, because to get mileage, you need to strategize. And I was aware that Comrade Lambert had set up a press conference for 12 o'clock today. What I want to say about what was presented to us yesterday by the CPO, Mr. Daniel, the messenger for the Minister of Finance. What I had to indicate to him is that we represent workers, and you cannot present an offer of 0 in 2014, 0 in 2015, 0 in 2016.
Comrades, we have a tendency to believe that we as black people can't organize and do anything. The sister is sending a message what emanating, and all you echoing down here, please be silent for a while and everybody will speak after. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
And 1% in 2017. Comrades all, what this government is trying to do is to change the negotiating period. For all the years, we would have had a negotiating period of 3 years. Yesterday, the servant of the Minister of Finance had presented a 5-year collective agreement to us. And Because he's the man.
Yes, he is.
And when he is presented, he is laughing. He is laughing at us. So we must laugh back at him, but in a different form. And that form that we must laugh at him, it must send a strong message.
Yes, sister.
We have bills to pay. We have children to send to school. And we are not prepared. And we are not prepared to accept this ridiculous and scandalous offer that he has placed on the table. No how, no way. And today as I speak, I am calling on each and every worker in Trinidad and Tobago. And not only the workers, because you as workers, your family is also affected. And if we are serious, and when we make that clarion call, we expect you all to come out in your numbers. Because numbers speak. You see plenty of us that stop. But when it comes to walk the talk, we just disappear. And the time is not hiding. And come out. Because you see, the government is waiting to see what the trade union is going to do next. So what we do next must send a signal. And it must be a signal that they are not going to try to provoke us. We have the power. We put you here to serve us. And if you are not serving us, it's time you take aside and let somebody else come in. And I am not afraid to say that. Because you cannot tell me that after so long these workers wait, and we as leaders are telling them that we're sending proposals and we are meeting with the CPO. And when we meet with the CPO, this is the ridiculous offer that is presented to us. We cannot accept that. And whatever we do and say going forward must be a very strong message. Workers clapping is nice, but we want to see numbers on the streets. We want you all to support your leaders, because your leaders is as strong as the members. The leaders cannot do it alone. We need your support. Before I close, I want workers to understand we must love ourselves, and we must not allow people to tell us, not directly but indirectly, that we are scavengers. We must show them and we must tell them that we are of worth. We have to face grocery just like them. Our children have to go to school just like them. And if they feel that we are scavengers, then they will feel the brunt of the trade union movement.
Common with the various messages that she has sent up this afternoon. I underline that what she says. We clap and we shout. And when the leaders call you out and say, let us go to fight for our bread and butter, Half of you that when you have chop drinking. Half the other half that be ashamed that ministers see them because I belong to a political party. Some of you will be afraid what they go and tell the leader. But now is the time that you have your books, you have your children, you have your bills to pay. To help with who see you, find yourself on Perhaps today is a very sad day when we will clap and we want to thank God that He has given us the spirit, the faith and the encouragement to be here. But we are saying, as we have said, enough is enough. And I take the opportunity now to bring the General Secretary of the National Trade Union Center, Comrade Michael Hansen. And we put your hands together and welcome him.
Comrades all, news media, all the workers in the bank would have come from various entities. I recognize workers from MTS, WASA, contractors in general, daily rated workers, monthly paid workers. You know, comrades, there is something in life that we have to understand. And today, demonstrate a quotation that we are quite aware of. You ever hear the quotation, do not wake a sleeping giant? Today, the government with one insensitive, unjustifiable proposal will have raised the sleeping giants. And I just want to make one or two remarks. I don't want to get too much into the economics. But what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, is that we have to understand that our strength is within us. We have to understand as a people, as a society, and as workers, we must determine the society and the future we want for our children. We must understand, brothers, and let me just give you an example. Just think about it. The port workers fed up and they say, nothing going on. PTSC workers fed up and they say, no, bus must go. Amalgamated workers fed up and they say, I'm cleaning the streets. The nurses who demonstrated today say, boy, we fed up, I want to take a day or two of reflection. The immigration, the customs. Think about it, the port workers not saying the city, we fed up. They don't care about us. The point that I'm making, that there is no economy without labor. And when labor stops working, no economy, regardless of what money you have, cannot operate. Let me repeat it. And you have to understand the strength. You have to understand that the voice of the workers is the voice of God. Because God is not the man up there. God is near you, and it is within us. And no weapons shall be formed against us. Because we have to stand up now and demonstrate in a serious way that, hey, we are not going to be treated. And it's not the union who talk about riots. And let me repeat it, I raised gas price once, they in riot. I raised gas price 2 times, they in riot. I raised gas price 3 times a day in riot. So I'll give them 2% and then go riot. But brother, you made the biggest mistake in your life. You made the biggest, and I'm not going to play no part in but my position is clear. The system dictates what happens in this Trinidad and Tobago. The financiers who finance the political party dictates what happens. Because everything is given to them, and who paid the piper for the tune? And I'm raising one fundamental question, go and check it. Ask this government, ask for inquiry, who is financing the head office of the PNM, and you will understand what is happening in this country. Ask yourself the question, why the former Attorney General had to recuse himself more than 46 times when the government was talking about business deals. Who benefited that? It wasn't me, it wasn't you. Ask yourself the question that during COVID-19, who was outside there? Who was keeping the economy going? Who was working? Where were them? Where were them when we were outside there? The port workers, the daily rated workers who were cleaning the street, the transport workers, the washer workers, the TNTech workers. Where were the government? Where were the CEOs? Where were the honchos and them? They were home. And we were keeping the economy going. And the point I want to make, brothers and sisters, we have to understand that. Because they don't want to educate you. They want to have you in a system whereby you see yourself as an individual. I have a car, I have a TV, I get paid, and that is all that matters to me. And we do not understand that when the rain falls, they don't fall on one house. You understand? You all do not understand that. And we have to start to think. We have the ability, brothers and sisters. And it's not about the leaders, you know. I know in my days, when I joined the port, if anything go wrong, the workers used to come to ask us what is wrong. Now we are the one and so we know what to do. What are they doing? And that's the major problem, because they have put us in an individualistic form of thinking. It's about me. It's about I, and it's not about us, because you do not understand that collectively, that is where your salvation is. And make no mistake, you know, people happen. This is not a one-day clean offer here. It's a disrespect to you as women, a disrespect to you as men. That is what has been offered. You know what 1%? You know what is 1%? 1% is 1% of a dollar. So that if you're getting $350 a week, that 1% is 35 cents and the man offer. And you want to set a code, I promise I didn't want to do that thing. But you know that is my responsibility now not to. Look at this. You know what it is? There's the prices of chicken. There's the prices of flour. There's the prices of goods that went up in Trinidad and Tobago. And it is astronomical. You understand what I'm talking about? When chicken goes up at that price by almost $4, what 1% on your wage is going to do? When we know that chicken is a staple food, that is the proteins that we have to buy in order to feed our children properly. And if we don't feed our children properly, what that means medically is that your children's mind and ability to function suffers. That is what this government is telling you. They don't care about you, and they don't care about your children, and they don't care about all your livelihood. This is insulting to anybody. All right, 0, 0, 0, 0. And I want to make the point to the pensioners who are outside there, who was knocking on that door. What is happening? The government doesn't see your service to this country. Because when you go and get to work, you're not working for Michael Allison, you're not working for Lambert, you're not working for yourself. When you see the streets, when you offload cargo on the port, when you deal with Wasson, give water, you're doing it for the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago. And therefore, you must recognize that as a government, and you must give us our due. Because labor is a price. You cannot come as a government in light of all the economics realities and offer workers 2%, 0, 0, let me repeat it, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1%, 0, 1%. That is the respect that you show for the citizenry. And that is the issue, brothers and sisters. And I'm warning you on it. You will clap, you will say all kind of things. The day has come now. The sleeping giant has been raised. We have seen, and I have no doubt. Why my comments and them were surprised? I was not surprised. Because when you have a government whose philosophy and policy is directed towards the 1% people and who finance them, when you had a prime minister who said, let the boat rise with people who have the money so the other people will benefit, which is a failed economic system. And therefore, we must demand now a wage-led economy and a job-led economy. If there is no decent wages and living wages, if there is no jobs for me and you, this economy will not survive, and we will suffer what we are seeing right now with the shootings and the killing and the deaths of Trinidad, because the social fabric of the society will crumble when there is income gaps that we are seeing in Trinidad and Tobago. So I want to end by saying, brothers, my concern is are you ready? Yes. Well, I want to say ready. As the comrade said, a day because you will get soaked up. Alright? And we don't know how long this rain is going to fall, brothers and sisters, because we have to send a clear message. Enough is enough. The reason. And I end by calling all my ancestral mothers and fathers and the divine master to protect and guide us as we struggle 01 because it is
a form of fire. I believe then that living has been escalating on a daily basis, of which the workers in this country have placed some responsible people in your various groups. You must listen on a daily basis, continue to burn the fire. If there is any questions or clarification, the media.
Just wanted to know, you said
some of the leaders are here, and then we will say when it is. And we will have
action on the street is one thing, but on
we have sent in proposals. We have given one, but what we're quite certain of that my strategy, what we collate the strategies. So demonstration is only justices that have been meted up to us. We want to highlight it to the country what we are undergoing. But as it relates to the strategy, as I said earlier, in the history of my involvement, and most of them will echo the same sentiment, we have never had it as bad we have now. Even in the days of Robinson, when he had said there is nothing, he invited us to join NEL, he gave us bonds, Chambers gave us 6%. We have never had it. Robinson at one time had cut 10%. He has stopped having COLA. Also, he has taken away COLA. We were not able to fill vacancies on the permanent categories. It's a whole series of things. As you are aware, that the government of the day and the very same Minister of Finance in his budget speech recently, he said that the pension for delegated workers in central and local government is long outstanding. We were invited by Minister Marlin and we made a contribution pertaining to that aspect. We were sent a document by the government that we should have 2 names coming from our union along with other members from various ministries to form the facility and the committee that was formed by the government. That is over 3 months ago, and up to now we have not heard from the permanent secretary when the first meeting will be held. What is undergoing now, contrary to some other trade unions, and I intend to speak about it on Labor Day, whilst some of the various trade unions is against the reversion of 60 to 65 years, NUGFW in this particular instance are the one that is more aggrieved than any other union because of the fact it is this union that agreed with the then government minister, Marlin at the time, to reduce from 65 years to 60. When I joined the public sector many years ago, I joined with the intention of going to 65 years. There are unions that go in 65 years as delegated workers. So when I hear the nonsensical statement by some of the very said leaders, what will the young ones coming from school will do? That has always been 65 years. It's because of the economy of the country at the time. And it was at its lowest ebb that we were asked for central and local government and the Tobago House of Assembly to country will not be able to sustain itself as it relates to NIX, NIB if we continue having people going home at 60 years. Throughout the Caribbean.
Why?
You will get that.
Why?
Just now.
Yeah.
Throughout the Caribbean.
That management of it.
But you're not hearing, you want to hear
That
right.
management of it money wasn't that problem.
Oh Lord.
The bad management and let me put people in place to stop taking you in with the place, the slummy business.
Hello. Hello. Hello, I understand you.
65, I can have money. Because somebody will have to come back. Otherwise, we'll take it up and open up with the door. This morning, you don't know how to.
Right now, you're overdoing business. Yes.
But you stay and we stay back. You know why? Because we go there.
Compulsory retirement is right here.
And negotiation done. It's today or tomorrow.
You will get that.
You will fight tomorrow.
All what you say now is with you. We come out, we want
How are you? So we
Michael and he said,
okay.
it's time for the union to form a political party. Hello everyone.
Of the workers, and therefore we are happy to hear how they have echoed the sentiment, and they say they are ready, and we will ensure that we put things in place so when the time comes you will come out in numbers, right? And we will do that very shortly. Okay, we will do that very shortly. We got the message, we understand what you have said, and therefore we will put it together. There is a process that has to be done, and it will be done. So I want to thank the media here in our UK, and in light of that, we say